Black people, what are we doing here? This is why we can't have nice things. We already have enough Tyler Perry foolishness to go around, and this film just has me longing for mea culpa. That's how you know you've shit the bed. And it's that wet, diesel smelling shit that's full of undigested chunks of corn and celery. Yeah, picture that. Here are my immediate thoughts, and fuck yes, this is a spoiler edition of Not Another Church Movie. Fuck this movie. Not Another Church Movie, written and directed by Johnny Mack, is apparently a parody of Tyler Perry movies. There are some skits, some characters interacting, and just bad jokes all around. This stars Kevin Daniels, Vivica A. Fox, Tisha Campbell, Jasmine Guy, Mickey Rourke as Satan, and Jamie Foxx as God. Yes, I named an Oscar winner and an Oscar-nominated actor. Whatever incriminating shit Mac has on these two has to be diabolical. This is going to be a spoiler review because this movie is a shit show, and I am going to do everything I can in my power to destroy this movie's existence and make sure as few people as possible engage with this piece of madness. I am the one doing the Lord's work here. This is honestly the first review ever on this channel where I am absolutely dumbfounded as to what to talk about first about this movie. The horrid acting, the abysmal script, the absolutely insanely horrid special effects, or perhaps the fact that this is one of the most unfunny movies I have ever seen. Johnny Mack clearly thinks he understands the nuances that makes Tyler Perry movies funny. But if he really knew that, he would understand that this movie doesn't even need to exist. So this film follows Taylor Harry, played by Kevin Daniels, and he also doubles as Medude Hims, the Medea clone. And right off the bat, this movie just tries to make fun of Tyler Perry just based off of his name. So like, for example, the P is silent, so yeah, Tyler Perry has no pee-pee, ha ha ha. There's even a whole thing with Vivica A. Fox, she plays a judge in this movie, and she's like, oh, I thought your name was Fairy, because, you know, there were rumors that Tyler Perry may be homosexual. I don't know what we do with all of this sophisticated comedy. So Taylor is our narrator. He introduces the audience to himself. When the movie begins, he has like 20 jobs. He's a surgeon, he's a lawyer, he's an architect, he's a pizza delivery person. And this is supposed to play up the whole thing of like, before Tyler Perry got famous, he had this whole hustle game going. He would have like 5-10 jobs going, and it's like, whatever. At the same time, Oprah Windfall, played by Luke Ashley, has some shit going down of her own. See, her latest Oscar bait slavery film was a dud, and she has some beef with heaven. She is looking to try to find someone as her successor to empower the women of the world, and she basically orders God, played by Jamie Foxx, to find that person. She has God on speed dial, and she basically threatens to cancel God if he doesn't find someone. Yeah, let's talk about God. So, Jamie Foxx is basically in a bad wig in front of a really bad green screen. And then we have Mickey Rourke playing Satan, who is in front of even worse green screen. It looks like something that is taken straight out of YouTube, and then copy and pasted into iMovie. My green screen is more convincing. But it's clear that Fox and Rourke just had no script. They were just riffing on just random things that were just happening whenever or wherever. And at the same time, there are some problems with the audio in the ADR, especially with Jamie Foxx as God. It's almost like that there was a couple scenes where the audio was just really bad and they just couldn't get him to come back in for 5 fucking minutes just to re-record that audio. So they went back to try to sweeten the bad audio, and doing that made it worse. Here's the thing. 90% of the time, if a movie tries to be bad, it normally isn't successful. You can do parody, you can do satire, you can do homage, but if you're trying to do something inorganically that is bad, 9 times out of 10, it just does not work. Tyler Perry movies are crazy enough as it is. Whether it's a random person drinking an empty glass of water, or finding a sex-fired dungeon under someone's loft, or Taraji P. Henson coming up onto a boat after she was tossed out and suddenly she is as dry as a bone, Tyler Perry's movies are already madness. You can't outdo that. Yeah, like I said, this movie just isn't funny at all. We just get a bunch of dated jokes. There is a T-Pain joke. Someone is an angel and he shows up singing like he's auto-tuned. A T-Pain joke in 2024. We get a Precious joke in 2024. A Boys in the Hood. Ricky! Even referencing that, oh, wrong movie. That in 2024, I mean, I just can't believe the jokes that we're getting. Oh yeah, we get an Oprah, you get a this, and you get a this, and you get a this. Lazy. Fuck this movie. This movie was just horribly edited. It had so many out of focus shots. There were so many jokes with just like silent, awkward reaction shots. Scenes would just ramble and go on, and there was just bad comedic timing by everyone across the board. So God appears to Taylor in the form of a vision of TV static inside of a television, and God basically orders Taylor to write a film to empower the women of the world, and that is the main plot of this movie. Then I had to check, and 25 minutes in, there is no forward momentum of this main plot. It's just a bunch of unconnected, unfunny skits that are just around for no rhyme or reason. If this was Mac's intent, he succeeded in spades, but this isn't celluloid. This is helluloid. This isn't cinema. This is cinema. This is a movie I wanted to move on from. I can do these Gene Shout puns all day long. They're definitely wittier than this skunk-sprayed kitty litter box that hasn't been cleaned in 2 years. This movie tries to do the whole thing of demonizing black men that some Tyler Perry movies are guilty of. They have one character that has 3 blonde-haired Karens that follow him around everywhere. There's a security guard who's pretty much a deadbeat dad, and he treats the main female character like shit, but every other female character he goes gaga over and just wants to spend all of his money on. Vivica A. Fox, like I said, plays a judge in this movie. I don't know what Johnny Mack did to convince her to do this movie, but like I said, she's a judge and she hammers down these crazy judgments on just random people in the courtroom. At one point, she does a judgment for a divorce proceeding, and then it just randomly turns into church. Just for the sake of it, really, because it's like, oh, this is just connective tissue to Tyler Perry. Huh? No, you're not funny, movie. Tisha Campbell from Martin is in this, and she is horrible. She is walking on camera like she is on the stage of a high school play. My own high school plays had more ambition than this. At one point, she literally looks in the camera and name drops Madea Goes to Jail. There's a scene where Madood is in a car chase and it's supposed to reference Set It Off, but they even reference Set It Off? Movie, you are not supposed to explain your jokes. She's surrounded by cops and it is the one time that I am for the police. Kill these motherfuckers. They deserve to die. Blue lives matter. Lamorne Lewis, Winston from New Girl is in this, and I'm like, bruh, you can't be that broke. Just get a loan from the Bank of Montreal. This movie revels in its stereotypes, whether it's deadbeat dads, hoish mothers, ghetto life, church. It's just all so flat and offensive. I would give this movie a pass if it was even trying to be clever, but it doesn't even try to do its own spin on jokes. It just copies whole scenes from Tyler Perry movies, like the chainsaw scene from Diary of a Mad Black Woman, or the clown scene from A Madea Halloween, and it's just shot so bad, and it is so unfunny. God damn, it is so unfunny. And this is one of those movies that thinks it's so funny that it laughs at its own jokes. Something will happen and the characters will be like knee slapping and ha ha ha, like they're fucking Jimmy Fallon. And I'm just like, I just want to strangle all of you. There is one semi-inspired visual gag in this entire movie. So the main female character is standing outside in the rain under an umbrella, and her guardian angel, or the angel with the T-Pain auto-tune voice, is in his truck, and he's like telling her, come inside, and she's like, no, and he's like, come on, it's raining, and then the camera gets out and it's a wide shot, and you can see that the water is only spraying just onto her, and when she's going to the truck, the water follows just her. Everywhere else around her is dry, and that was an inspired joke, and under the guise of someone who is more competent, that joke would have really worked. That's a joke that would have come straight out of something like Airplane. And God, this movie makes me now want to watch Airplane to watch the taste out of my mouth. And there are some deep cuts with some of these jokes because you would have to really follow Tyler Perry's personal life. And if you don't, some of these jokes are just gonna go right over your head. So I don't know who this movie is for. All the scenes in both heaven and hell are totally random. They could have been plugged in anywhere at any point in this movie and it would not have changed the narrative one bit. And then at one point, God just disappears from this movie, figuratively and literally. At some point during the dude's court hearing, Mickey Rourke shows up and he possesses the bailiff. I don't know why, there's no reason for it, and it doesn't lead to anything. And Taylor is Madood's lawyer, and he loses the case, so Madood goes to jail. And the big joke is, haha, Madood is a dude, and when she's in the shower with other girls, she gets a boner. And then they try to say something that like Tyler Perry doesn't even write his own scripts because Taylor in this movie has someone else writing his scripts and he's taking all the credit. And then they did something. They cut to a shot, an insert shot of the screenplay pages. And they're not even in correct screenplay format. And I'm just like, wah! And then Taylor finishes the screenplay, then Satan, Mickey Rourke, shows up on the computer and like deletes the file and is like, oh no. But then God shows up and just makes everything okay again. The most uninspired and laziest conflict resolution ever. The last scene of this movie, of course, is in church, and Madood shows up and she's all hogging out, and Oprah Winfrey appears, and I completely forgot that she was even in this movie. And at the end, Taylor comes up and he's like, yes, I wrote a script inspired by God, and when it's released, you all get movie tickets. And yeah, this movie tries to sequel bait? No, fuck that. Let me find a spiked bat. Overall, Not Another Church movie can wipe my ass with its 2-page script. There's parody, and then there's just jocking someone's style. We all know Tyler Perry's movies are maximum foolishness. We didn't need a quote-unquote comedy to hold the audience's hands blaxplaining what makes Tyler Perry movies Tyler Perry movies. The acting in this was abysmal, the editing and camera work was pure amateur hour, and the story? What story? It was just a bunch of unconnected, confusing, frustrating, and maddening skits with no understanding of how comedy works or had any sense of comedic timing. This movie was full of all sorts of awkward cuts and uncomfortable silences, and even things that I think the movie was trying to parody, like Perry's penchant for bad wigs and shoddy production design fell flat because the movie itself was so shoddily made. The reason why some of Tyler Perry's work is so endearing despite the fact that they're so insane is there is sincerity in what he is doing. Tyler Perry's best weapon is his lack of self-awareness when making a drama that is unintentionally hilarious or throws in one of his Perryisms. But this movie? I can't believe this movie got a theatrical release. This doesn't even belong on Tubi. I wasted 90 minutes of my life on this shit, and I will never get it back, and for that, I will never forgive this sack of camel feces. Fuck this movie. This is the biggest of bombs. I didn't think it was possible for a film this year to be worse than Magical Negroes, The First Omen, or Rebel Moon Part 2, but here we are. I saw this movie for free, and I feel like I should be suing Johnny Mack for damages for pain and suffering. If there is a movie worse in 2024 than Not Another Church movie, I don't know what I'm going to do with myself. Not Another Church movie, unironically, is an abomination. What did you think of Not Another Church movie? Share your thoughts, leave your comments, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to hit that bell icon so you can get notifications as well. Thanks a lot, everyone. Take care.